The miraculous fishing. Jesus and Peter. Welcome to our channel that compares themes of the Gospel and Franciscan Sources. Throughout the Easter season itinerary, we will ask ourselves the question: is there evidence that Jesus lives? Where can we find him among us? The Church has perceived Christ present in the examples of widespread sanctity, particularly in Francis and Clare of Assisi. And as today's Gospel underlines, even in a weekday dimension. For a more complete overview of our human, cultural and spiritual proposal, we suggest you visit the website juvi.art. John 21 verses 1 to 19. Mission expanding, without gaps. Feed my lambs. The risen Jesus returned to reveal himself to his disciples on the Sea of Galilee, inviting them to fish. The disciples believed and immediately experienced the fruitfulness of the gestures performed in unity with Christ. The beloved disciple, the one with the enlarged heart and the sharp gaze, before the abundance of the catch, said, "It is the Lord." Verse 7. During the time he lived, Francis truly revealed himself as the lesser loved by Jesus. With introspective ability combined with grace, he became a fruitful missionary, who performed miracles with the strength of the risen one, casting the net on the right side. The sources narrate a significant episode, which occurred in a hermitage, near Rieti, Font Colombo. Visited by the doctor for the treatment of his eyes, Francis asked his companions to welcome him to lunch, preparing something good for him. "Father," replied the guardian, "we tell you with blush, we are ashamed to invite, so poor are we at this moment." "Do you want me to repeat it to you?" insisted the saint. The doctor was present and intervened. "I, dearest brethren, will consider your poverty a delight." The friars hastily set out on the table what is in the pantry, a little bread, not much wine, and to make the meal more sumptuous, the kitchen sends some vegetables. But in the meantime the table of the Lord is moved to pity for the table of the servants. They knock on the door and run to open it. There is a woman who offers a basket full of beautiful bread, fish and shrimp pies, and on top an abundance of honey and grapes. At this sight the poor guests sparkled with joy, and putting aside that misery for the next day, they ate of those delicious foods. The moved doctor exclaimed, "Neither we lay people nor you friars truly know the sanctity of this man." And they would certainly have been fully satisfied, but more than the food, the miracle had satiated them. Thus the loving eye of the Father never despises his own, but rather assists, with more generous providence, those who are most in need. The poor feed at a richer table than that of the king, as much as God surpasses man in generosity. Sources 6:29. The beloved disciple believed and did things like the Master. Francis, filled with the spirit of the risen one, recognized him in the events of his life and repeated with his actions, "It is the Lord." In truth, every day he attested to the presence of the risen one, who accompanied his disciples, teaching them and performing miracles. Then Jesus asks Peter if he really loves him. And, to the disciples' affirmative response, he adds that he begins to feed his lambs. Starting from the youngest. In Francis, the friars and the world are given an authentic witness of the Lord, who opens a new path for every man of good will. In the poor man, Jesus' request is concretely embodied. In this sense, the prologue of the major legend is enlightening. The grace of God, our Savior, has appeared in these last times in his servant Francis, to all those who are truly humble and truly friends of holy poverty. For while they venerate in him the superabundance of God's mercy, they are taught by his example to radically deny impiety and worldly desires, to live in conformity with Christ, and to long for blessed hope with insatiable thirst and desire. Upon him, truly poor and contrite of heart, God cast his gaze with great condescension and goodness. Not only did he raise him, a beggar, from the dust of worldly life, but he made him a champion, guide and herald of evangelical perfection, and chose him as a light for believers, so that, having become a witness of the light, he might prepare for the Lord the way of light and peace in the hearts of the faithful. Sources 10:20. Thus in Francis, in the footsteps of Jesus, a path of salvation was opened for each one, a precious presence for the friars and for all humanity. How many times did he reassure his people with his benevolent presence? In the face of the strong winds of trials, he always comforted them, helping them to overcome them, urging them not to fear. In him God was present in a tangible, special and multifaceted way, offering a journey of newness and redemption. The major legend recalls. As a wise architect, he wanted to build himself on the foundation of humility, as he had learned from Christ. Sources 11:03. For this reason his figure acquired authority simply by making himself small, attesting with his life the divine presence in him, which worked miraculously. Clare herself, filled with divine love, now close to her departure, came to say to her soul, "Go safely," she said, "because you have a good supply on the journey. Go. Because he who created you, sanctified you and always looked at you as a mother looks at her son, loved you with tender love." Sources 32:52. As if to say, do not fear, because the Lord has already led you on the path of redemption, he is with you. With Jesus every contrary wind is overcome from below, and the horizon shows off the edges of renewed salvation. John 21 verses 1-19. Thank you all for your kind attention. We invite you to subscribe to the channel, to stay updated on our activities. If you liked it, leave a well done to support us. Subscribe, give your precious like, share with your friends and comment too. Thank you, join us. And see you soon.